So this is the start of the soup base. Look at that. Gently sizzling away, no sign of brown. Onions and garlic softening and gradually turning translucent. I have also added some herbs from the garden. So there's a sprig of thyme, a couple of sage leaves, a bit of fennel and also some rosemary. You can really taste the herbs in there, and the sweet corn, although it's tender, has a very slight crunch. I like that texture. And then here is the potato. That's nice as well. Hello everybody, I hope you're keeping well. Well, today it's a really sunny morning. We had high winds and rain overnight, but now it's dry. There might be rain later on. It's still very windy, but it's pleasant, and I might get a chance to sit outside for a few minutes this morning in the sun. But today I'm going to show you another of my historical recipes. This one is for chowder, and I'm making a potato and sweet corn chowder. Now, some of you might think of chowder as being an American dish. It's certainly popular in New England and also Canada, but the dish actually originates in the UK. It was a shipboard dish. In other words, it's something that the sailors would have on their voyages. Now, chowder is one of those soup recipes that is usually quite creamy, although the original one had no dairy in it at all, and it was a different texture altogether. It's certainly very versatile. You can add or swap any ingredients really that you like. You can make it to your own taste. And the beauty of it as well is that you can cook it for quite a long time, depending, I suppose, on what texture you like to come out with. I'm going to be preparing mine in a slow cooker, as I have lots of things to achieve today. So without further ado, let's get started. I have chopped here a large organic onion. I also have some garlic. I'm going to put those in the crock of the slow cooker. It's been heating up on high for about half an hour. I've put in some olive oil and some unsalted butter. We want to be sweating the onion and garlic down for a few minutes in all those lovely oily buttery goodnesses. I have a stock cube here. It's a vegetable stock cube. I haven't made up a stock pot recently, so I'm using that. And I'm going to put it in a very large enamel jug and top it up with as much water as I think we need. The jug probably takes a good couple of litres, and I'll fill it right up. I might not add all the stock. Sometimes I add a reasonable large quantity of the stock and then hold the rest back for later in case the soup or chowder needs to be a little more liquid. But towards the end of cooking time, we're going to be adding some milk anyway. Here I I'm drinking some relax tea. It's an anti-stress, anti-anxiety tea. There we go, look. I bought that on the Isle of Arran back in July. There's 60 grams in the packet. It's got chamomile, which is good for relaxation, maybe good for digestion, headaches and sleep. Lemon balm is antiviral. It may be good for anxiety, exhaustion and skin health. Hawthorn is anti-inflammatory. It may have benefits for the heart and blood pressure. Rosehip may boost the immune system, improving heart health. It aids in weight management, rich in vitamin C. It can help prevent and shorten the length of common cold and flu. Additionally, rosehip contains vitamin A and E, which are beneficial for skin health. And you brew this for 3 to 10 minutes. I normally use a teapot, but I brewed it in my mug. This is so fun. When the liquid is hot, the lightsabers switch on. Fabulous. Anyway, with so much going on in the world and in the news right now, a lot of people are feeling the effects of all that chaotic and quite negative energy and might need a good natural boost for their emotional, physical, spiritual and mental well-being. So I highly recommend this kind of tea. Our apothecary also sells blood pressure tea and anxiety tea, anti-stress tea. And that's very good as well. We're living in difficult times, folks. So this is the start of the soup base. Look at that. Gently sizzling away. No sign of brown. Onions and garlic softening and gradually turning translucent. I'm going to add some chopped potatoes. These potatoes were from our garden. I think they're King Edward's, but I couldn't vouch for that. Now, this potato doesn't look a lot, but I can assure you that it will thicken the chowder up quite nicely, and it does tend to thicken as it cools as well. Potato is very good as a thickener. You don't need a lot. If it's not thick enough when you've made it, you could add a little oatmeal and cook that off. That is an excellent thickener, and it provides 14 grams of protein per 100 grams. I have also added some herbs from the garden. So there's a sprig of thyme, a couple of sage leaves, a bit of fennel, and also some rosemary. I stripped the rosemary leaves from the stalk because rosemary is a woody herb and you don't want that stalk in the finished texture. I'm swishing everything round, and now I'm going to add the stock. So there we go. I'm going to allow the soup base to cook on high for about an hour, and then I'll test everything and turn the cooker down to low. I don't need to add any seasoning at the moment because this stock cube has seasoning, but I may need to adjust the seasoning towards the end of the cooking time. Well, the chowder has had a couple of hours now. It smells delicious. It's about ready. So I'm turning the slow cooker off just for now. It will be going back on again in a wee while. I want it to cool down enough just so I can blend it with a stick blender. And while it cools, I'm I'm going to prepare the sweet corn. This is the second of 2 corn cobs I bought earlier in the week on a yellow ticket. So now I'm just going to slice the kernels off the cob. It will make quite a lot. The sweet corn gets added once the soup has been blended. And it will cook on a low heat for maybe another hour. Let's give the soup a whiz. There we go, that's nice and smooth. I'll just add a drop of Jersey milk. We probably don't need a lot. You can probably add more before you serve it, because it will become thick overnight. You can add as much milk as you like. I'm not adding a lot at this point. I'll see how it is tomorrow or the day after once it's cooled down. The potato starch will thicken the chowder over the next 24 hours or so. So it looks thin at the moment, but it won't be by tomorrow or the day after. At this point you could add some bacon lardons, lightly fried, but don't caramelise them. Or you might want to add some chopped cooked ham. The hand carved stuff is perfect. I'm going to check for the seasoning. That's nice. I might just add a little sprinkling of pepper, but the salt is fine, no need to add. I'll give that black pepper a stir through, and now I'm going to add the sweet corn. I've added the sweet corn, and there's one less ingredient, which is some diced potato. This is the diced potato. I'm going to add that to the pot. There we go, that all goes in. Give that another stir, and that will have cooked in around about an hour on low. Well, the chowder's ready now, so let's give it a try. It's gone all dull outside. It's not very warm. Dan's on his way home, but there's been a fallen tree, so the train's late. The chowder will, as I said, thicken up once it's had time to cool and stand for 24 to 48 hours. But it's got a really nice flavour. You can really taste the herbs in there. And the sweet corn, although it's tender, has a very slight crunch. I like that texture. And then here is the potato. That's nice as well. Just tender. Again, not overcooked. It hasn't completely disintegrated or anything like that. You want that little bit of texture in a chowder, because these pieces of potato here are, if you like, a garnish. It's creamy, but it's not rich because I've only added a little bit of milk. I think Dan will really enjoy this. I really like the sprigs of rosemary in the soup. I'm very happy with that. I would probably give that about an 8 out of 10. Once it's thickened up a little bit more, it'd probably be worthy of maybe a 9. If this soup isn't thick enough for you, remember you can add a little bit of porridge oatmeal during the second stage of cooking. That'll cook down and it'll give you a lovely thick chowder. Or you could add a little bit of corn flour if you prefer. This is a really nice recipe for these autumnal days. It would also make a good winter warmer. Yum. It's very flavourful. So that is potato and sweet corn chowder. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please comment. Would you try this? Have you made chowder before? Please share and subscribe. Ding the notification bell, ding ding, and I will see you again for the next one. Until then, thanks for watching and bye for now.